They laughed at him. They called him fat, slow, and a sideshow act with a haircut like a cartoon character and a diet that looked like a sponsorship deal with every fast food chain in America. But ButterBean, real name Eric Esch, didn't just laugh back. He hit back. And when he did, grown men dropped like bags of bricks, unconscious before they even realized they were in a fight. He was the cholesterol-charged knockout machine with fists that could shut down stadiums. And even Mike Tyson, the baddest man on the planet, wasn't so eager to stand across the ring from this 400-pound cannonball in star-spangled shorts. The world called him a joke. The canvas knew better. In the mid-90s, ButterBean stormed into the boxing world with all the subtlety of a freight train. His debut was less a boxing match and more a demolition job. Facing Doug Norris, ButterBean didn't wait around. He charged like a bull, cornered his opponent, and flattened him with a haymaker that sounded like a gunshot. Norris folded, the crowd erupted, and a legend was born. Weeks later, he obliterated Paul Springer in just 30 seconds, making it clear that ButterBean wasn't here to play. He wasn't dancing. He wasn't bobbing and weaving. He was charging forward and planting opponents into the mat like fence posts. Then came Pat Jackson in 1995. Jackson had grit, power, and an attitude. But all that did was irritate ButterBean, who methodically broke him down like he was tenderizing steak. By the end, even the referee took a stray shot in the chaos. ButterBean had accidentally knocked out everyone in the ring but the cameraman. The crowd didn't know whether to cheer or check their own teeth. Jackson threw in the towel. The referee retired. ButterBean just smirked and waited for his next victim. James Baker didn't last a single round. Richard Davis tried posturing and taunting, only to end up face-first on the mat after one left hook. Jonathan Whitfield, known as the Bull, charged hard and went down harder. Over and over, ButterBean bulldozed through opponents like a wrecking ball in trunks. Fans loved him. Critics hated him. But nobody could ignore him. ButterBean wasn't your standard prizefighter. He was built like a bulldozer, with a style that had no room for elegance. Yet the brutality of his punches, the raw spectacle of watching him step over the ropes and start swinging like he was in a bar fight, it was addicting. He didn't fight to win rounds. He fought to end them. One of his most memorable bouts came against Billy Eaton. Eaton had the look, the mustache, and the power to challenge ButterBean. And in the opening seconds, Eaton shocked everyone, knocking ButterBean down with the first punch of the fight. It could have been over. But instead, it turned into a war. The two traded bombs in a bloody, sweaty spectacle of raw force. When the dust settled, the judges called it a draw, a decision that didn't sit right with the fans or with ButterBean. He demanded a rematch. And when that day came, ButterBean turned up like a man possessed. No more games. Just punishment. Eaton hit the floor. The rematch ended in destruction. ButterBean got his revenge. By now, ButterBean wasn't just a knockout artist. He was a full-blown celebrity. He popped up on the Jay Leno Show, became a character in EA Sports' Tough Man contest game, and even appeared in Knockout Kings beside boxing royalty like Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier. But it was on Jackass where he made perhaps his most iconic non-fight appearance, beating the life out of Johnny Knoxville in a department store while fans howled in disbelief. Knoxville said later that he'd rather be hit by a truck. But ButterBean wasn't done. In 1997, he faced Ed White, a towering opponent with the height and reach of a skyscraper. White used his range early, landing long punches. But ButterBean didn't care. He closed the distance, unleashed a right hand from the depths of hell, and dropped White like a sack of flour. White somehow got back up, only for ButterBean to finish the job seconds later. Blood poured. The arena exploded. His legend grew with every knockout. But the boxing world still viewed him as a novelty, the big man in small fights. 4-round bouts. Quick knockouts. No titles. No respect. ButterBean didn't care. He said he wasn't a boxer. He was a fighter. And fans didn't want ballet in gloves. They wanted violence. And violence is exactly what ButterBean brought. When Peter McNeely, best known for getting destroyed by Mike Tyson, decided to challenge ButterBean, it was a collision of punchlines and pride. McNeely came in with an impressive record. But once ButterBean started unloading, it was over. Body shots. Uppercuts. Overhands. It was a buffet of pain. The referee had to jump in to stop it. McNeely collapsed in defeat. ButterBean stood tall. And Tyson? He was watching. But ButterBean wanted more. He wanted to test himself. So in 2002, he stepped into the ring with Larry Holmes, the former heavyweight champion who once defeated Muhammad Ali. Holmes was old but sharp. His jab was surgical. And the fight? It wasn't a joke. It was 10 full rounds of old-school warfare. Holmes outboxed him, picked him apart with precision. But ButterBean didn't back down. He pushed through, fought every second, and went the distance. He lost on points, but won the respect of every serious boxing fan in the world. The fat man had stood toe-to-toe with a legend. And didn't fall. Not satisfied with just conquering boxing, ButterBean turned to kickboxing. His debut in K1 saw him obliterate Yusuke Fujimoto in under a minute. The fans were shocked. Then came Mike Bernardo, a monster of a man who pounded ButterBean with low kicks that exposed his biggest weakness, his legs. ButterBean was built for upper body brutality, not defending kicks. He lost. But the crowd still roared. He wasn't supposed to be in that world, and yet there he was, swinging and smiling. Then came MMA. ButterBean struggled at first, losing to Janani Sudo and drawing with Michael Buchkovich. But when he faced Wesley "Cabbage" Carrera, everything clicked. It turned into a brutal slugfest, with both men landing heavy shots. But ButterBean's fists were heavier. Cabbage broke his elbow on ButterBean's skull. The doctor stopped the fight. Another win. Another moment of disbelief. He wasn't fast. He wasn't technical. But ButterBean had something no trainer could teach: raw, terrifying power and the willingness to absorb punches to land the one that mattered. And somehow, in a sport that worships conditioning, six-packs, and perfect footwork, the man who looked like a sumo wrestler in American flag trunks carved out a legacy of his own. Even in the twilight of his career, ButterBean kept fighting, testing himself against giants like James Thompson. He didn't win them all. But he never quit. And when he finally hung up his gloves in 2013 at the age of 47, he left behind a career filled with knockouts, chaos, and unforgettable moments. But retirement wasn't kind. ButterBean's health declined. He ballooned to over 200 kilograms. Doctors warned him he was in danger. So he joined a reality show called Lose Weight or Die, and began fighting a new kind of battle, not in the ring, but in his own body. Slowly, painfully, he fought back, this time not for titles or cheers, but for his life. Eric Esch never became world champion. But he never needed to. He was the people's fighter, the knockout artist who didn't fit the mold, and didn't care to. And maybe that's why he endured. Because while champions come and go, ButterBean left a dent in the sport, and in every man foolish enough to take his punch. If you've ever doubted someone because of how they look, remember ButterBean. And if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. What was your favorite ButterBean moment? Could he have beaten Tyson in his prime? Let us know your thoughts below, and we'll see you in the next fight.